If you've ever played a trading card game before, you know just how expensive it can be. Between opening sealed products, hoping you'll get the exact cards you're looking for, or paying for individual cards off of websites like TCG Player, trading card games can be an extremely expensive hobby. Unfortunately, the case isn't much different for the One Piece trading card game, with many of the meta decks being comprised of high-priced staple cards and many of the best-looking cards being locked behind a paywall. The hobby can get expensive quite quickly. For many card game enthusiasts, this drives a wedge between the desire to be competitive and the health of their bank accounts. But just like our future king of the pirates, we have to start somewhere. That's why I'm going to be taking on the challenge of starting from a singular One Piece TCG starter deck with a weekly budget of $10 to go towards upgrading my deck and $5 going towards weekly tournament entry. Do you think I'll be able to manage the challenge of taking down my local competitive scene? Or will the restriction of playing on a budget have a greater impact than we can even imagine? Let's find out. Welcome to Budget Pirate Progression. Welcome back to another week of the Budget Pirate Progression series. We are launching straight into week number 5 here. We've had a couple good streaks of going 3-1, being able to get prizing, with last week being able to pull out a second place overall in final standings, which ended up getting us a winner pack. We're that much closer to accomplishing our goal of winning a locals on a budget. And this week we're going to start off just like any other week. We've got our tournament entry packs we have to crack open, and we'll get into deck upgrades for you guys before we head on down to locals. Alrighty folks, just like the start of any good video here on the channel, we have to start off with our tournament entry packs for last week. We do have a surplus of a couple of the older packs, so we're going to get to see a couple different hits here. Just entry packs, so there's no big hits that are worth too much there, but maybe we'll find something that can find its way into the deck. Save this one for last because we know a Kamazo comes out of there that we want to try and add to the deck. Not too sure about these other two sets. Got a Beppo. Another Shura. Oh, looks like we might have something purple. Nope. Blue Portgas D Ace. And it looks like a Charlotte Pudding. A last chance to try and add something from the tournament packs into the deck. I swear if it's another Kaku. And it's a Sanji. Alrighty, well, we'll throw these into the trade binder. We have our pickups for this week that we're going to be throwing into the deck. So for one of our transactions, we were able to pick up 2 more copies of Eustace Kid. We want to max out that playset to try and get him on curve on our 5 Dawn turn. That way when we play out Luffy Taro, we're not going -1 Dawn. And then for the rest of our budget this week, we were able to get our last Charlotte Linlin Big Mom. This will probably be taking out the Kaido because we want to be able to see the Big Moms as often as possible since they're not searchable. And it heals us up in the late game, which is definitely a necessity against some of those high pressure decks. Go ahead and get these added to the deck, and then we're going to head off to locals. We'll see you there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we made it to locals this week pretty early, might I add, about 20 minutes early. So I'm going to see if I can get some trades in, see if we can add anything to the deck before the start of round 1. If I get a trade in, I'll update you guys. If not, I'll update you guys after round 1. We'll see you in a minute. All right, folks, we just got done with round one, and that was a tough one, let me tell you. We paired up against a Blue Doflamingo, already a pretty tough matchup for me from past experiences, and just trying to play against Doflamingo in general is not always the easiest thing for me when they have Bounce Law and Jinbei and just so much pressure so early on. I ended up being pretty clogged towards the end of the game, not having any counter, and they just kept flooding the board. And on top of that, my opponent saw like 6 2Ks, saw 3 Jinbeis, and just didn't end up mattering no matter what I had. So we are starting off the tournament 0-1. We'll update you guys after round 2. Ladies and gentlemen, we just finished up with round 2, and we paired up against everybody's favorite Blackbeard player that we have played, I think, 4 out of 5 weeks now. But turnout was different. We ended up taking the game this week. He did not see any finger pistols in life, but he also didn't see any removal, so he just wasn't able to keep up with the pressure that I was putting on board. He did win the dice roll, which also set him on an odd curve, so he wasn't able to get to his 10-drop Blackbeards, and he ended up just not seeing any of his removal that he needed. So we are 1-1 after round 1, or after round 2, sorry. We'll catch you guys after round 3. Well, folks, we just finished up with round number 3. We paired up against Rob Lucci again, and that was a grind game. The only top end we ever really saw was Big Mom, and so we weren't really able to keep tempo because we just kept taking the card out of our hand, putting them up another life, and they saw a lot of their geckos, so they were just able to keep replenishing board. I wasn't really able to maintain a board, so we are, I believe, 1-2 right now, so that means we're not going to be getting any prizing tonight, but we still have one more round to go. We'll see you guys after the last round. Alrighty, folks, we just finished up with round number 4, and we paired up against our resident BY Luffy player, but this week they were actually on green-yellow Yamato. So that was kind of a scary game with the 5-cost Yamato that has double attack and banish. but we were able to take it in the end because we have just a lot of pressure from Luffy Taro and playing out a lot of bodies each turn with blockers too. So we ended up finishing this tournament 2-2. No prizing for me this week, but I'm still poured up the prizing that's divvied out, see if anyone pulls anything cool, and then I'll see you guys back at home. Ladies and gentlemen, that is week number 5 in the books. We didn't get the turnout that we wanted tonight. We finished with a record in 2-2. I feel like I could have played better tonight and maybe snuck out a 3-1 record, but not every week's going to be a perfect week. I think heading into week number 6, I definitely want to adjust my approach to the Budget Pirate Progression series and potentially dabble into getting cards for another leader to prep for OP10 format, because I know that Purple Luffy kind of falls off a little bit. So let me know down below in the comments what you guys want to see. I have a couple ideas in mind. And with that being said, thank you all so much for following me along on this journey of the Budget Pirate Progression series. Comment down below what you want to see in future videos. Go ahead and drop me a like on the video and subscribe to follow along for the future adventures. We'll see you next time.